I think it's been interesting that finally the Prime Minister has made a remark on Raghuram Rajan and the attack on him by on him by Subramanian Swamy in relation to the attack and the second term which is coming up for a review in September. And what the Prime Minister is said that it's an administrative matter which there is still time, and then we need to look at it only in September. And yesterday the Finance Minister too had made it very clear that actually that you could have differences on policy, but he said that he doesn't approve of personal attacks and on the central bank governor. This is all in response to this what many feel was in bad taste, an attack on the personal attack what many see by Subramanian Swamy over the last few days. Actually in 6-7 allegations, some of them really appear to be a little wild, in fact wild in nature. We haven't had something like this, at least against the chief of a central bank. We have had in the past controversies, particularly with the finance ministry, the ministers actually seeking a higher, seeking lower interest rates and making comments actually, but we never had personal attacks actually on head of an institution for a pretty long time, as much as I can remember. In fact, maybe part of all these media interest has got to do with also the personality of the governor. I think he's been far more in the public eye than many other governors what we have seen over the last 3 decades, in fact, personality wise and otherwise. Policy pronouncements, maybe far more media savvy. So maybe a combination of things interest not only in India, globally. The fact is that he's different. He's not been part of a system. He's an outsider in that sense. That's an allegation which Swamy says, which Swamy is put saying that he's not fully Indian. He's got a green card and he's not mentally fully Indian. But that's a terrible remark to make. And we know that in the past we had other people who have come into the system in India, worked, and one of those was actually Sam Pitroda in the 80s, actually someone who did a lot of, as we see when the Indian economy in the early stages when it was opening up, Pitroda had come here. He had come from the US on the invitation of the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi then, and he made a lot of difference. So there has been resistance to outsiders in the system. So partly it could be that, but at the end of the day, he's got a standing actually. There is a credibility he brings in. I think many people would really be surprised if he doesn't get a second term. And if you look at the past, over the last 25 years, almost every governor, I think after Venkatramanan who left in 92, almost every governor had stayed for 5 years and with 5 years, and in some of the cases it was for what you call across 2 stints, in fact 3 plus 2, 3 years over the first and then 2. But in many other cases it's been 5 straight away. I think I can cite the case of Dr. Reddy and Dr. Rangarajan. In both it was 5 years, and then of course it wasn't renewed, but in other cases it was all 5 years so far. So he's young. He's been one of the youngest governors of India's central bank along with Dr. Manmohan Singh. So everyone, I think it's going to be a big surprise if he doesn't get it.